and we're on.
We're on. Okay.
We're back on. So we'll go back here a little bit, and I'll just ask you about.
Ignore that, Ron.
I'll ignore that.
It's
So that's you. I'll ask you about like Esther's name, because I thought her other name Rhonda would have been about Gas Rhonda.
Gas Rhonda, yeah.
But you said it's not?
No. Well, you know, I worked for Gas Rhonda for Arthur Murray's. That's how I met Gas Rhonda.
Yeah.
So, but that's not why we named Esther that. The reason we named Esther, or was going to name Esther Rhonda, is because Mary liked Rhonda Fleming, the actress.
Yeah.
She thought she was so beautiful and everything, you know. So we thought if we had a girl, her name was going to be Rhonda Marie. And then it just so happened that Mom died at that particular time prior to Esther being born. So we thought, well, we have to carry on my mother's name.
Yeah.
You know. So we named her Esther Teresa after Mom. And Esther didn't like it when she was a young.
Because it's an older name for a teenager.
Yeah, right.
Rough on a teenager.
Yeah, right. But she's satisfied with it now.
I don't blame her.
She is my darling, that Esther.
So much like Mary. From
Hey,
personality to looks to everything.
let me
it's
tell
like
you
a twin.
something. I even sometimes call her Mary.
Yeah.
Because she'll do some little thing that I see Mary right now, you know, and I call her Mary. But that's good.
Yeah.
That is good, yeah.
Everybody loves her.
You know, when Mary was pregnant with Esther, I thought, oh man, it's got to be a girl. I've got 4 boys, you know.
Yeah.
It has to be a girl. It has to be a girl. And if it was, I was going to get myself fixed. Anyway, by gosh, it became a girl. And when I went into the operating room, they wouldn't let me touch her, you know. They said, oh, look at the little toes and the little fingers and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I went to touch her toes, and the old nurse, she jerked Esther away from me, you know, like I was poisoned or something, you know, or contaminated. But anyway, oh God, that was a joy of my life.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I love all my kids, but to me, little girls are the sweetest things in the world, you know?
Yeah.
And I had one.
Yeah. That's cool. So you worked for Gas Rhonda.
I worked for Gas Rhonda. I started in 1954, and we weren't only employer-employee. You know, Gas taught me the dancing business.
Yeah.
But Gas was really into drag racing at the time.
Yeah.
And he asked me to come with him one time, and it hooked me, you know.
Yeah.
So every weekend, Gas and I'd go to a drag somewhere. He became the national champ in the 1956 Buick that I bought from him.
Okay.
And boy, that was a car, a really car. Mary can vouch for this. Well, she can't now, but she could. When we went to Tulsa, for instance, I had the car at the time, and every night on the way home from the studio, somebody would come up to me at a light, and we'd have to go down the street, boy, and nobody ever beat me in that car. God, it was a Buick Special, 1956 Special, but he had a Century engine put in it, and it was really tweaked out. I mean, all kinds of little goodies that he threw in there. I wouldn't know what they were, but he knew his cars at Gas Rhonda. You know, he became very, very famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, very famous. Yeah.
Yep.
He was sponsored by Ford.
With a Thunderbolt.
Yep. Yeah. And then I had well, that was my 56 Buick.
That's 56.
Then I had a 58 Thunderbird.
Yep.
About brand new.
Powder blue with teardrops.
With the metallic navy blue bullets at teardrops.
Yeah.
And the teardrops were the same color. It was a beautiful car, really. Then I had a 58 Corvette. It was burnt orange Beautiful car. God, I love that car, but Mary wouldn't have it because Ricky had to sit on the console. You know, it's only two-seater, you know.
I bet Ricky's pissed now.
Oh, hey, Rick loved it, you know, because Rick's really a car buff.
He was a car buff dad.
He was you know what? When we went back to Tulsa, he was so small that he could stand in the back seat, put his head up on the headliner and fall asleep. But he knew how to identify cars. He'd see a Ford coming, he'd say Ford. Chevy coming, Chevy.
Yeah.
Studebaker, you know. He knew cars from when he could talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always been a real car buff. Jackie's pretty much the same way, but
Yeah.
Rick was more into it, you know, in the cars. Jack was into motorcycles more.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see. After the Corvette, I had a Grand Torino, but this was later.
Well, you got a big black Buick convertible with
I-
red interior.
That was a 1959 Buick Electra.
I rode in that side.
Oh man, that was a gorgeous car. Black, shiny,
Big fins.
big fins on them. You know the '59 models. You
Yeah.
know they had the big fins, white top, red interior, red and white interior. You know, when I bought that car, I traded the Corvette off for it because Mary was pissed off because Ricky had to ride on the counter. You know.
Yeah.
So I said, well, we were working in San Francisco, excuse me, at the time, at Arthur Murray's there. And I drove by the Buick dealer one day, and I saw this convertible in the window, and I thought, oh God, what a nice looking car, you know. So, make a long story short, I went in and we made the deal, and I traded the Corvette for the Buick. And I drove it up to the studio, parked it out on the street, and the studio was upstairs. So Mary was up there working already, so I went up, and after she finished her session with the student, I said, come here, I want to show you something. So we went to the window, you know, and I looked down, and there's this big, long, black, shiny, new convertible with the top down and the red and white upholstery, you know. And she says, what's that? And she kind of knew, but she didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
And I says, that's your car, honey, you know. You know, oh boy, she fell in love with that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah. You're lucky.
yeah, really. That's the first one she fell in love with.
And then and then 59. No, in 60, you got a Corvair.
Yeah, that was 61.
61.
1961, I got a Corvair station wagon. You know, that was a really neat little car.
Yeah.
The only thing about it, it leaked that oil because it had the opposing cylinders, you know,
Yeah.
like a Volkswagen. It was kind of an oil leaker. But boy, it'd go like hell. We went down to Disneyland in that thing
Yeah.
when we first got it. Yeah, we took the kids down there. And then, let's see, I also had a 63 Lincoln Continental,
Yeah.
baby blue. Oh God, beautiful car. The interior had plushes. You can get a plush like that couch over there, you know.
Yeah.
And it had the big chrome strips inside and everything. And the suicide doors opened up, you know, in the back. God, oh, it was gorgeous. I'll tell you, really gorgeous. Then I had the urge to buy a Toyota Land Cruiser, the Jeep type, you know.
Yeah.
So I traded. I did a lot of stupid moves in my day.
You had the car that was so cool. I had to go out and buy one.
Did you?
63 Falcon Ranchero,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I made my Ranchero same color, same interior, everything that you had, 4-speed on
Did
the
you?
floor.
Yeah,
With the little 260 V8.
yeah, yeah.
One thing I didn't do is put the scallops in it.
Yeah, well, Tommy the Greek striped that. He also striped the Thunderbird for me, and he striped a toilet seat for me, which I still have.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So he did the Thunderbird and the
And
Ranchero.
the Ranchero.
He striped both of those, but
Yeah.
not on any of the other cars.
No, the other cars I had striped by another guy. Yeah.
Oh,
But
was he-
then this was after Tommy quit, you know.
Yeah.
After, you know, Tommy, he got dementia in his later years, and, you know, he just didn't know what he was doing.
No, that was Mary's uncle?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Tommy the Greek, yeah.
Yeah.
very famous. He's in the Hall of Fame, this, Stripers Hall of Fame, you know. When, at his funeral, boy, I'll tell you, all the big stripers from all around the United States came to his funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very well thought of, you know, in that field. Yeah.
Now, if we could go back a tad bit to your drag racing days, that I mean, even horse riding days. I'll just talk about your different hobbies, because I've always been amazed at the different hobbies,
Yeah, well,
hobbies or interests that
Yeah.
you get into, and you get into them so deep.
Yeah, I do.
Like, I mean, full, just like you're Masonic
Well,
now, but
Yeah.
full all the way into it.
You know, Rod, I always did do that, though.
Yeah.
You know, I always felt, I guess, that, you know, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right.
Yeah.
And do it as best you can, which I always tried to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not patting myself on the back or anything, but everything that I ventured into, I kind of did well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you, for instance, archery. You know,
Yeah.
I took up archery and fell in love with it right away, and God, it was a hell of a good bowman. I really was. Even Mary got involved in it, you know.
Yeah.
And we used to do all the tournaments in the Bay Area, you know, go to the different ranges. It's like going to a golf course. They have targets set up at different yardages, you know, and they score differently. So you play a round of golf, you play a round of archery.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get into something, you always got to get into the equipment. Which I had equipment up the bum, you know,
Yeah.
in everything that I did. I always did. Just to advance one stage now, from the archery to the scuba diving.
Yeah.
I got the bug to scuba dive from the TV show where
Sea hunt.
Sea Hunt. Oh God, man.
Bridges.
I used to watch that thing and just put myself in that position, dreaming that I was doing it, you know.
Yeah.
So I sent away and bought a tank and regulator and a wetsuit, which I had to make. The wetsuit came in pieces. You had to glue them together to fit.
Yeah.
Make sure you fit them, which I did. And when my tank showed up, it was full of air. And at the time, you didn't have to be certified. You could just go scuba diving, you know, on your own. So the tank showed up at the house, UPS, the regulator, the mask, fins, you know, the whole thing except the suit. And I had to try that damn thing on. I filled the bathtub. Oh God, it was so funny. I put the tank on the side of the bathtub, and I laid down in there with the mask on and the regulator, and I'm breathing, you know. And Mary came in. She says, "What in the hell are you doing?" You know, I felt so stupid after realizing really what how I must look, laying in the bathtub with the tank outside. Oh God,
You're lucky
that
you
was
didn't get the
something else.
bends getting out of it.
Yeah, right. And then another kind of little hobby I had was quick draw.
Yeah, I remember that.
I bought a quick draw outfit from a friend of mine, and boy, I really came good at it. I smack them off, and I'd load my own wax loads, you know. And George was into it at that time too,
Yeah.
in his own way. But anyway, this was when we lived on 38th Avenue in Oakland, in that little one-room house almost,
Yeah.
you know. And I was practicing the flip into the holster one day, and I flew up and hit Mary in the head. Went up my finger. Oh God, she was so mad at me. You know? And then, talking about that house, one day Leola came by with Stephen and a couple of the other kids. I forget which ones they were. And Stephen was Dennis the Menace, you know.
Yeah.
That was Stephen. He walks in the house and he looks around and he goes, "Hey, where's the rest of your house?" I mean, we still crack up every time we think about that. Because he was only a little guy like that, you know, talking the way he did.
He had some some good sayings.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Hey, where's your brother?
Yeah, and he even dove off a chair one day, showing me how he would dive into a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Onto the patio. No pool there.
No pool.
Onto the patio. Head first he went. This was when they lived in Dublin.
Yeah.
God, what a screwy little guy. You know, he became a bull rider, you know, for
Uh-huh.
a few years there. And I never in my life ever dreamed that he would do that, but I guess he was fairly decent
Pretty
at
good,
it, you know.
yeah.
But he told me it was awfully dangerous job, which you can tell if you ever see or watch bull riding. It, God, you know, I would never try it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
You
get
did,
back to where.
so you did archery,
Oh yeah.
scuba,
Oh,
quick draw.
Well, we then Mary and I did a lot of golfing. We played golf
Oh.
for quite a few years, and I was never an Arnold Palmer, but
Yeah.
I always had a lot of fun. I loved to play. I really did. Yeah. The only thing I hated to play with my brother Ronald because he was such a poor loser.
Oh yeah.
You know, God Almighty.
I never been in so many fights as the time I took him golfing.
Oh yeah, I believe
It
it.
was arguing every
Yeah,
single hole.
I believe it. Yeah, yeah. And then too, about that time, about the time that I bought my first airplane, I had a partner, Ed Ryan.
Yeah.
We bought the airplane together. Actually, we had another partner, but he only lasted a couple of months, and he figured he wasn't flying it enough, so he wanted his money back. So we gave him his money back.
Yeah.
Ed and I kept the airplane though. Ed Ryan was a wonderful person. He was a lodge brother of mine, and you know, I just loved him. You know, he's a great guy. He was a B-17 co-pilot
Oh.
during the war. He made 21 missions, and they made it. You know,
Yeah.
and so many of them didn't. That was a terrible, terrible time of the war when all those B-17s were.
You counted every mission.
Yeah, they
To
lose
that last
400,
one.
500 guys every mission. You know.
Yeah.
God, it was terrible. Anyway,
So you did flying.
when I bought the first airplane, when Ed and I bought it, I should say, we bought it from Ronald. Ronald had bought the airplane. He moved up to John Day, Oregon, left the airplane here with me for a year. He came back and got the airplane, flew it up. He didn't even have a license.
Yeah.
He had a student's license. And I told him, I says, Jesus, Ronald, I'll fly it up there for you, you know. Yeah, no, I can do it. All I got to do is follow the road, you know. Yeah, well, he followed the road in the wrong one because he ran out of gas. He landed on a road near a farm, and the farmer saw the airplane land on the road going past his house, came out and found out that Ron had run out of gas. So he took him, I guess it was 5 or 6 miles through a town, and got him some regular car gas, put it in it, and he made it to John Day. Well, he stayed in John Day with that airplane for maybe a year, and he couldn't make the payments, you know. So he called me up and he says, "You want to buy my airplane?" I said, "Yeah." I really liked that airplane. That was a nice airplane.
What kind was it?
That's the one you rode in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a Grumman Cheetah. It was a 1978 Grumman Cheetah, 4-place, 150 horse. Wasn't real powerful, but God, it was so smooth to fly. You know, where it almost land by itself. Really, it was nice. Of course, the day I took you was pretty bumpy.
I was gonna say you said it's smooth to fly, and I trust you 100%.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. And we went down the runway,
Yeah.
and we were gonna do a loop around the airport and come
Right.
back and land. Right.
Right.
We went down the runway. You turned left, and the wind caught your wing.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna flip over in the sky. I mean, it went whoop, and about like some kind of a dogfight out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And that plane turned, and I just kind of looked over and going, "Holy crap!"
I know. I remember that so much, Rod. It even scared me.
Oh, okay, because you didn't say a damn thing. All you did was just like it's normal.
Yeah.
And then Bert got his airplane,
Yeah.
and he asked me to fly. I don't trust Bert driving me across the street in a golf cart.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I got in the plane with him,
Yeah.
and I was so comfortable because I'd already gone through hell.
Yeah. You did. Well, you know, Bert
Bert actually did a very good job. Yeah.
Bert became a damn good pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flew with him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we went, Ron called me and asked me if I wanted to buy the airplane, so I said, yeah, I'll buy it. So Ed Ryan drove me from my house to Klamath Falls, Oregon. And Ronald met me in Klamath Falls with the airplane.
Yeah,
So Ed took off back for the Bay Area, and I went to John Day with Ron in the airplane. And I dropped him off, I stayed overnight, and I left the next day. And I flew the airplane back to the Bay Area,
Yeah.
into Concord. And we had the airplane in Concord for 4 years, and then we moved to Napa Airport, because tie-downs were cheaper and the gas was cheaper.
yeah,
And we were there for, I guess, 8 years. A total of 12 years I owned that airplane. And I loved it. It was a great airplane. Finally one day though, Ed says, oh God, I think it's about time we sell the airplane. I said, yeah, okay, So we sold it and split the money. And, we got doubled our money that we paid for the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
and all the fun you had with
And
it.
all the fun that we had. We went every weekend, Ed and I would go to some different airport here in Northern California from the Bay Area. So in all the years that we were flying that airplane, we hit 33, I think it was, airports. The small ones,
Yeah.
all over the place. The ones that you wouldn't think you would normally go to, we'd fly to them just to say we were there.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun, boy, a lot of fun.
Put a-
That little
put
airplane.
a
to
pin
go
in the map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like pin on the map. Yeah. And then after that one, after I sold that one, I went quite a few years really until I bought my next one, which was a Cessna 172, a 1963 model, old model,
Yeah.
But it had beautiful panel in it. It was really equipped well, and a dream to fly. God, it just floated in, and squeak, squeak when you hit the runway, it was really nice. But there again, I just had the urge, I got a good deal, offer on it, and so I sold it, And then, after Mary died, I'd talked about getting another airplane while Mary was alive.
Yeah,
She says, when I die, you can buy any goddamn airplane you want to buy. It's a joke she was saying. God, kills me sometimes when I think about it. But after she did pass away, then I waited, a year maybe. And I bought this last airplane, which was a beauty.
yeah,
But I never enjoyed it. And I just didn't even like flying it.
yeah,
Funny. So, there again, I took it to the same guy that sold my other two and had him sell that one for me. Of course, I took a dump on this one because I paid a good price for it, and I lost about $8,000 on it. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I can compare that with the gaining on the other
The other
two,
ones you
losing
had?
a little on this one. So I'm even,
Yeah.
and all the experience and fun I had,
yeah. It's all
And then-
about the stuff you
Then I
did.
belong, I don't belong, a friend of mine that is a Scottish Rite member, which is part of the Masonic organization. He's a good friend of mine, has an airplane. We were parked right next to each other at Concord.
Yeah,
So he's always, I've gone with him several times. And he says, anytime you want to take my airplane, take it, But I don't want to do that. But I'll go with him anytime.
Sure.
Yeah. So I still got my fingers in it.
yeah, you can
I'll
still
never
do it.
get out of it, I don't think. Every time I pass this airport here in Reading, I think, God, if I was living up here now, I know I'd have another airplane.
Yeah,
Because this is such a great area to fly in.
Nice.
The traffic is light, and the weather's always, you have a lot of
air.
beautiful weather here, so,
The scenery must be pretty too.
yeah, it is, yeah. Where were we, Rodney?
some of your hobbies, guitar playing?
Oh, yeah, well,
I don't know how, you got a list, but let's go.
what did
Played in a band for a while?
Yeah,
You built rifles for a while?
do I? Oh, yeah, yeah.
So-
Well, the band, let's go to the band
Yeah.
first. I'm trying to think of when it was. Do you remember that friend of mine, Bob Hall?
Yeah, that was in 1960.
60 something, because he had a 60,
66.
66 GTO, I think he had.
I met her in 67, so it was 66.
Okay,
Because Dad and I lived there.
yeah.
Lived at your house for that.
Well, anyway, I belonged to an archery club at the time,
Yeah.
and they had a little two-piece guys would play at our clubhouse, you know. We'd play them country songs, you know. And one day, the one guy said to me, Jack, he says, "Why the hell don't you buy a bass and we'll kind of make a little group out of this?" And I thought, hey, why not, you know? I don't know how to play anything, but I'll buy one anyway. So, just so happened, I got home that night, and at the time I was taking the paper, I was looking through the want ads. Bass guitar for sale, $15. Man, I just shot over to that guy's house, and sure as hell it was had the 4 strings on it and everything.
Yeah.
You know? And it had a little amp like that, you know. It says all $15 for the whole works, so I bought it. So I took it to the clubhouse the next time we had the meeting, and this one guy showed me how to find a chord or two, you know, this one guy that played guitar. And so pretty soon, you know, I was kind of feeling a little bit comfortable, you know, plunking around there, not really knowing what I was doing, but
Yeah.
just having a lot of fun. And damn, if it didn't work out to where I started getting pretty good, you know. I thought, hell, then this guitar ain't good enough for me, boy. I gotta get the big one, you know. So I bought a Fender and an amp. The amp was taller than that cabinet, you know, huge thing. I ended up spending $1,600 anyway.
From
$15
to
Yeah.
$1,600.
Yeah, and we actually formed a pretty good little group.
Mhm.
And then we added a couple more guys to it, and then, so we finally ended up with 5 pieces. And God, we'd play at a lot of these little bars and everything, you know, $50, you know.
To split?
For the whole, yeah, everybody. $10 a piece, you know. And we just had a lot of fun for, oh gosh, about 3 years there.
Yeah.
We played. The name of the group was The Occasional Fog. Yeah, we had a guy named Danny Vash. He was our singer.
Yeah.
Boy, that guy could sing, man. He'd close his eyes, man, and he'd get back there and he'd wail them out, boy, bring you to tears, you know. He was really good. And we never had anything original. We always played somebody else's
Covered,
stuff, you know.
yeah.
But God, we got to where we could copy it so close, you know, that
Yeah.
if you didn't know who was playing it, you'd think it was them. We had a lot of fun. And then we just broke up. I tried another group for a while, and there was just no camaraderie there, you know.
Yeah.
So I dropped it all. Now I have, and this has been about 2 years, I bought another bass, and I bought another amp, and I play along with YouTube and any other musical thing I can find on the computer.
Yeah.
And I play along with it, and I've built up quite a repertoire of songs that I can play well now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I just entertain myself. Make believe I'm playing at the.
Yeah.
I used to tell Mary, Carnegie Hall for me, honey. She said, "Yeah, that'll be the day." God, she would. Mary was so damn funny. I'll tell you.
Oh.
God. Oh. Well, where were we?
Okay. Any other hobbies that we don't know about?
You asked about the guns.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
that
sure.
wasn't actually a hobby. It was actually a business.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my business. It was Mary's Uncle Bud,
Yeah.
Bud and Mary. They had well, what Bud did is he would buy these guns from the Lend-Lease programs that the military had. They'd lend guns over during World War II to Yugoslavia or
Yeah.
wherever, you know. And he specialized in the carbine, the 30 carbine.
Yeah.
And what we would do is we would order the guns. They would come in, and we would strip them all down, and we'd try to park matching numbers, because
Yeah.
every gun that they ever sold us had gone through an armory. And when they go through an armory, all they do is throw another part in it. They don't care if the numbers match or anything, because it's all interchangeable. So what we would do is we would strip them all down and try to match numbers, and because it increases the value of the gun by $500-600, you know.
Wow.
So anyway, we would go to all the gun shows and sell the carbines, and God, that was great. It was really great. And Bud was he was kind of a shady character in a way. Great guy, but he liked to make machine guns,
Yeah.
and he never thought he'd ever get caught, you know, because he always thought, well, hell, I know this guy, you know, I'll do this for him, I'll make a gun for him. Or,
Trusting his buddies.
yeah. Anyway, he got caught,
Yeah.
and he got convicted of a felony, him and Mary both, because they were both under the license.
Yeah.
And they confiscated all of his stuff. Oh, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of guns and parts. And he can never do the business ever again, you know.
Yeah.
He's not even supposed to own a gun, because he's a felon. You know. And I don't know if he does or not. But anyway, I had fun doing that, because
Yeah.
I made myself a gun
Yeah.
out of the parts that we got, and it's a paratrooper model with a folding stock.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful gun. It's an inland. And did I ever show it to you?
I don't think you showed me yours.
No,
You,
didn't I sell you?
you sold one to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it wasn't.
Sold one to
paratrooper.
me. I gave it to Joel. Joel gave it to Joey.
Yeah, good. But anyway, that then the supply dried up.
Yeah.
It's probably good that it did, because he was getting so many people wanting to convert from semi-automatic to automatic.
Yeah.
And Bud could do it in a heartbeat, you know. Simple. It's easy to do too. And I know that he'd have gotten a prison sentence if he'd ever got caught again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it. But because of his age and everything, they just gave him community time.
Yeah.
You know, him and Mary had to go to Meals on Wheels for about a year, you know, and deliver Meals on Wheels. Yeah. And Aunt Mary died, gosh, I guess it's been about 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
I loved her. She was a nice lady boy. She a little petite little thing, gosh darn, held her figure just like a young girl. God, you can't believe it. But boy, I'll tell you what, she sure had Bud under her thumb. Man, poor guy. We'd go home feeling sorry for Bud every time we went over there. God, you know, we did a lot of fishing,
Yeah.
Bud and I. And Mary too. Mary loved to fish. That was one of her best hobbies. One day we were fishing out in front of Bud's house off his dock in the Napa River.
Yeah.
She snagged onto this sturgeon. 15 minutes she fought it, and she couldn't do it anymore. Her arms wouldn't hold out on it. So I took it over. For an hour, I fought that thing. An hour. It was an hour and 15 minutes total, till I finally got it up to where we could see what it was.
Yeah.
And it was a sturgeon. It was 6 foot 2 inches long, weighed 115 pounds. Took 3 guys and me to pull it up out of the water onto the dock. When we hung it up, you know, it was way over my head. It was illegal by 2 inches
Because it was beyond the slot.
beyond the 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we kept it anyway.
Trim the tail off.
Yeah.
Get the scissors.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, we shared that with everybody in the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Oh God, so much meat you could. Hell, then, oh wow, I'd say the thing was that big around.
Yeah.
You know, huge. Yeah. God, ugly. You know, they're
Ugly. But they taste good.
yeah, they do. And Mary, she got a picture of her kissing it, you know. I've got that picture, yeah. Yeah. Boy, she was sure proud of that one.
See, I told you you're supposed to kiss a fish.
Yeah, you gotta kiss the fish.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the fishing's gone, and what else did we do? Rodney?
Motorcycles. Now, did you have?
Yeah.
Now, I know you had a motorcycle, but for some reason in the back of my mind, I thought you had like an aerial.
I did.
Okay,
Uh,
that's
my first motorcycle was a Harley.
yeah.
It was a 1961. I mean, a 1941, 61 model.
Yeah.
Had a gear shift on the left hand side and a suicide clutch. And I bought this in Red Bluff at it was a little guy did, he had kind of a shade tree garage,
Yeah.
you know. And I worked at a gas station in Red Bluff at the time, at a Union 76 station. I had to pass it on the way home to Gerber, where Mom and Dad lived. One day I went by and I saw that motorcycle and I thought, oh, God. You know, it's my dream to own a motorcycle, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't stop that day. The next day, it was still there. So I stopped off. I asked the guy how much he wanted for it. He said, $200. So I said, well, I got to see if I can get $200. I forget if I asked Dad for it or what. I got it. I got the money anyway. The next day, I think Jim Hendricks let me off at work, and so I walked over to the motorcycle and bought it.
Yeah.
The guy says, have you ever ridden one? I said, no. So he said, well,
No.
let me kind of go over this with you. So he did. He kind of went over it with me. So I kicked it over, and right away, man, I was all hot, man. I was going. But I put it in gear, and you know, you had to lean over because it was a suicide clutch. Because if you lean that way,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to lose it. So I put the clutch in and I put it in gear, and I eased up on the gas, and I killed it right away, of course, you know. And so I started it again, went through the thing again. Pretty soon I got it going, and it was going, and I got it up on the road where I could let off the clutch and feel free, and then
Yeah.
open the throttle a little and gain a little speed and shifted gears. It had the notches, you know,
Yeah.
1 through 4, I think it was. And anyway, oh boy, here I am, you know. I went home, and I couldn't wait to get up the next morning to go to work so I could ride my motorcycle. I bought a helmet with the ears, you know,
Yeah.
and the goggles.
Leather ears.
Oh, there was something else. And anyway, I actually learned to ride on that motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun with it. I got pretty damn good. One day Jim Hendricks says to me, he says, I was at work at the gas station, and he came to the gas station. He says, why don't you let me ride your motorcycle? I said, I don't know, Jim. He says, oh, come on, let me ride it. I'll just go around the block. So I said, what the hell? Why not, you know? So he got on it. I showed him everything I could show him, you know. And he lets his foot off the clutch and went whew, straight across the street, ran into the curb, flew him over the handlebars. Here's my motorcycle laying on the ground, running, you know. Oh, God, and I ran across the street there. And I shut it off, and I picked it up and looked it over, and it had a few scratches on it, but nothing serious, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know if he had any scratches. I was so mad, you know. Anyway, then I think I sold that. Yeah, I just sold it outright to a guy. And I moved out to Los Angeles. And I went to work for the Southern Counties Gas Company down there, which would be like PG&E here,
Yeah.
the gas part of it, you know. And I worked there for a little while, and pretty soon I got a job in this place called Regan Forge and Engineering. They made parts for oil derricks, like the crown blocks
Yeah.
and the traveling block that puts the bit into the well and spins it, you know. And they make the hole openers, which they call them. In other words, when the casing got clogged up, they would put this torpedo-looking thing in there with blades on it in there to scrape
Router it out.
wall scrapers, they called them, yeah. And the guy's son that owned the company I became good friends with him, you know. And he and I both talked about motorcycles, you know. So one day he says, I'm gonna go buy a motorcycle today. He says, you wanna go with me? I said, yeah. So I went with him. We went, and he bought a brand new Triumph, and I bought that Ariel Square 4.
Mm-hmm.
Best bike I ever had. God, that thing, that would scream, Rod.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 cylinders, you
Yeah.
figure, and a little light bike like that, but it was kind of on a chopper frame.
Yeah.
It almost looked like a Harley chopper, you know, with the way the guy customized it. It was really great. To make a long story short, we drove home, Tim and I, him on his Triumph and me on my Ariel. We get to this intersection where he had to go one way and I had to go the other. And I says, I'll see you tomorrow. This was the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The next day he got killed on his motorcycle.
Is that right? So he owned it for one day?
One day. He got head on with a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, got killed in a motorcycle. So, needless to say, I didn't drive my motorcycle to work because
Yeah.
that's where his dad was president of the company. So his dad called me in his office about a week later, and he says, I noticed you haven't been driving your motorcycle. And I said, well, I didn't want to be disrespectful, you know. He says, Tim had my permission to buy that motorcycle. I knew that he wanted it, and he knew the dangers that were possible with it.
Mhm.
He says, it's a sad thing, he says, but it's happened, and he says, there's no reason why you should feel, you know, that any guilt about it. He says, you bring your motorcycle, you drive it to work. He says, it's all right with me. So I did from then on.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. His dad was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but that's the only motorcycles I actually, oh no, I owned a couple of dirt bikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
And the boys were.
well, when one Christmas I bought a motorcycle for all 3 of the kids.
Yeah.
Jackie, Ricky, and Esther, a little Honda 50.
Yeah.
And they were all in the house under the tree. Bob Hall helped me bring them all in. And we set it all up. And when the kids got up that morning, all the motorcycles right in the living
Oh,
room.
man.
Oh, God. You talk about excitement, you know. It was something else. And I don't know, that's about all my motorcycles.
Yeah. So, we'll switch to another thing. So, if you had 3 important things in your life, or 5, whatever you want to tell me about. One important thing to 5, whatever
You mean that I wish I would have done?
that you did do, that
Or that I did?
that were important to you in your life.
Ooh, boy. You know, Rod, I really don't, I don't know, because it seemed to me that everything I did to me was important.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really. I don't know. I'm really, really family oriented. You know, family is very important to me, and it always has been. Though.
Yeah.
Even though, like when my children were being raised, I had other occupations, but I still had that family feeling, and my kids accepted everything that I did. You know, which makes me feel good, you know. And then, you know, one thing maybe I think maybe if I had to do it all over again, I might do would be finish out a military career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like the regimentation of it, you know, and the travel and everything, you know, and you feel like it's an adventure all the time, you know.
Life has been an adventure.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
another thing that that I should have done while my mother was alive, I should have become a movie star. No, let me tell you this.
Okay.
She always said, Jackie boy, you gotta be a movie star. You have to go to Hollywood. Oh, God. And when I finally did move to Los Angeles,
Yeah.
one of the last things she told me, she says, now when you get down to Hollywood, you go to those studios, you tell them you want to be a movie star.
And did you?
Oh, yeah, right. You know, one day, actually, I went by the, not the Warner Brothers, one of the other studios, had the arches and the gates, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought, God damn, you know, I ought to go in there and just see if they're looking for movie stars.
I understand. That's how Clint Eastwood.
I don't doubt it.
He just walked in and said,
I'm here.
I'm here, where do you sign me up?
Yeah.
And they said, we don't. Come back. And then eventually he went a couple of times and they put him on
Yeah.
as an
Extras,
extra,
yeah.
just because he was young and healthy and could do something. He
Yeah.
could ride a horse or something like that. And look where he got him.
But see, he's exactly my age.
Yeah.
If I'd have done it then, it may have been me in the Eastwood movies instead of him.
It could have been you and Clint instead of him and Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, goodness.
Dirty Jack
Yeah.
instead of Dirty Harry.
Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, now I have a dog, little Sammy.
Yeah.
I rescued him last year at Christmas time, and in fact on Christmas Day, I was up here visiting Esther, and I'd kind of wanted a dog, you know, but Mary wasn't a real animal lover. She was always kind to him, but she never really wanted an animal, you know. We had Jack's dogs for a couple of years, and all she had to do was clean up the crap and everything.
Bad part of it.
Yeah, bad part of it, you know. But, I don't know, I've always kind of been a dog lover, you know. And Esther says, well, why don't we go over to PetSmart? They're having a big rescue day today, you know, where they're going to have a lot of animals there. Maybe you can see something you like. Yeah, the minute I walked in there, in this one cage, you know, probably this big around, they had 4 dogs in there. Right away I saw Sammy, and I said, oh, God. That's got to be it, you know.
That's gotta be it.
Yeah. Oh, the newlyweds are here. Yeah. And so anyway, I adopted it. But his name wasn't Sammy, it was Percy. And I
Oh,
said,
jeez.
hey, no way I'm going to have a Percy in my house.
Hell, not in your neighborhood. He'd get beat up by the cats.
He would. So he's really a special part of my life right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Yeah. And he's my real shadow. I can't go to the bathroom, can't do nothing.
Yeah.
I turn around and I'll step on him, you know, because he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we good here?
And we're good.
We're good?
If it's good for
That's
you.
what I said. You got one more story you want to tell?
Well, I'll tell you.
That we're missing out? Because I want you to get everything that we're missing out. And if you got 5 more stories, we'll sit here and listen.
Well, Rod, I could probably go on all night, but I'm not gonna to save you. But I'll tell you what, I did come up here kind of for a special reason.
Yeah.
This weekend. A grandson of my brother's was getting married to this lovely lady. And her name is Nicole, and his name is Joseph. We call him Joey. Anyway, we went to his wedding yesterday and had a great time.
Good.
Everybody came home safe and happy, and I guess that's the end of my story. I'm going home tomorrow.
Okay. Good job.